you. Okay, let's just do the lesson proper. So in Japanese, as you guys know, the alphabet system, we have two lah. So over here we have the katakana on the left side. This is called the katakana system. On the right side, it's called the hiragana system. Right? Why is there two kinds of system? Is because for hiragana system, it has existed since like long time in Japan. It is what they use to write Japanese words. Right? So for example, native Japanese words like isu is chair. So isu, we'll refer it as hiragana. Okay, for example, however, for modern things like door, last time the door in Japan is like, the sliding door, the shrine door, that kind of thing, right? They're very, very different from modern doors. So instead of calling the door mon, they have a more modern way to call it. They call it door, right? Door. Even the train door you hear in the announcement, they will say door ga shimarimasu, right? Door. So door, as you can hear, it sounds like English, right? It's similar to English. So yes, door is a foreign borrowed word. Right? This is what we call foreign borrowed words. So borrowed from a foreign culture, for example, English. Right? So doa is usually written on the left side, right? Using the alphabet system on the left side, the katakana system. And then on the right side is for more traditional words like isu. Right? So that's the main difference between the two. Right? So over here in this paper, in this worksheet that you see here, on the right hand side there's a legend. Right? Hiragana, katakana, and of course we have the alphabet Romaji. So what is Romaji used for? For Japanese learner at the very start, we cannot recognize the alphabet system, right? It looks very alien to us, right? So this is why we actually have this Romaji to come in to help us at the start. It's like our bicycle, the training wheel. So once you are proficient in cycling, then we will remove the training wheel. So no more Romaji. Right? So Romaji is just at this beginning level only, at the very start of this lesson. Right? So once we go on to E2, there will no longer be this training wheel anymore. So you need to memorize at least the hiragana system, the one on the right side. At least memorize this hiragana system by the end of this E1 class. Right? Of course, we will try to remove the training wheel as early as we can. Right? So, but however, Romaji is not here to stay. So please use it while it lasts, but don't use it too much. Okay, so it's like Hanyu pinning in Chinese, right? We have Hanyu pinning, but Hanyu pinning, it doesn't appear on the subtitle, right? So similarly, it's like that. Okay, so for the Japanese pronunciation, usually we have this thing called the mora. Alright, let me just highlight here. So the mora. So mora is basically what we refer to as a sound equivalent of how to pronounce one word. For example, in English we say classroom. Classroom. Right, there's like 4 syllables. In Japanese, 1 syllabus. For example, we use the table below. For example, the first one, is just 1 breath. Right? No matter what we change it to, for example, we change it to ha. Ha is also still 1 breath, right? We say it as 1 letter by itself. So this is what we call by 1 mora. Right? Which means we say it as 1 letter by itself. Right? Of course, the Japanese language, like Chinese and English, is all around this A, E, I, O, U. But we don't pronounce it as A, E, I, O, U lah. We will learn how to pronounce this A, E, I, O, U later in the Japanese way. But there is this A, E, I, O, U. When we put a consonant in front, right? Can be K, can be H, can be B. We put a consonant in front, it changes the sound of this word. So the sound of this word will become a different word already. Right? Just like how in pinning. Right? We have, for example, cha and chi, right? It's CH, but the ending is an I and an A. Right? So depending on the ending, it becomes a different meaning. Right? So same as Japanese, we have this kind of thing. And then we also have this 3-letter combination together. Right? This is called contracted contracted consonant. So contracted means they combine 2 of these letters together to form 1 word, which is also pronounced as 1 breath. So for example, right, KYA is actually KI and YA. Alright, supposed to pronounce kia, but however we can pronounce it in 1 breath and say kia. Right? So this is what we mean by contracted consonant. Okay, we will look at the alphabet system now. My iPad is lagging. Okay, so you just repeat after me. A, I, U, E, O. Right, so A, I, U, E, O. So a little bit different from English. It's not A, E, I, O, U. So a bit different. So these are our main basic most sound Then the next column, we will practice how to say it. Right? So for example, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, right? So this is the K row, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Right? Of course, the typing here will be the most accurate one, right? Please follow this one. Why I say this is because for ki, some typing will become like that. Right? I can give you an example. For example, I type ki, right? You can see the typing is entirely different from the handwriting. So you can see, compare this one, ki and ki. The handwriting and the typing is entirely different for some of the words. So you need to take note which one are different, and then we don't write it like as if we are typing it out. Right? So this one we will go along as we will realize them as we go along lah. Okay, for now I point out ki. Ki is different. Okay. Next one is the S row. Sa, shi, su, se, so. Right? So is not so hard to write. So is just one stroke only. It looks like a lot of stroke, but it's actually one stroke only. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So it's just like a Z and then a bracket, a C downwards. So all in one stroke. Right? That will be so. Okay. Next will be ta, chi, tu, te, to, Very good. So over here, nothing much I want to point out. Just that the z sound is a little bit hard to pronounce, right? Z. Right? Z. If you know Chinese, it's like 蜘蛛, right? Z. Right? Z. Right? The na row. Na, ni, nu, ne, no. Right? So I understand you all might be thinking, so how am I supposed to write nu and ne? Don't worry, I will send you something after the class. Right? So I have this practice writing sheet. I don't know whether it's the one that they're supposed to give it to you. Looks like it is. Yeah, it looks like it is. Yeah. So you can, if you don't understand how to write, you can actually look at this one. They will tell you how is it like what is a stroke like. So you just refer to this one, and then you practice writing at home. Alright, so don't worry so much about the handwriting right now. Alright, so if you are thinking, then this one, is it the typing one? No, this one is actually the handwriting version. So don't worry, this is no error. I checked already, can follow. Okay, this one can follow. So I will distribute this one later during the break. Let me sort that out first. But yes, this is how we can practice writing. Okay, I will also send this on a WhatsApp group. At the end of during the break, I will create a WhatsApp group, then we can all join in. Then if I have any resources that I like you to have it, I will pass it to you lah. Okay. Yes.
So far, all that we're concentrating on is the hiragana.
Yes.
Not the.
I will talk about katakana after hiragana.
So now it's just hiragana.
Just hiragana first,
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Just hiragana first. Yeah. So at least at the end of E1, you should be good at hiragana lah, because that will be the main bulk of what will be tested in JLPT N5. Katakana will still come in at N5, but I won't think it's a very big part of N5. Right? Then kanji don't even need to think. It won't be a big part until you reach like E3 class. Right? For E1, E2, just go along with the flow, understand how to write hiragana. Yeah, kanji is their Chinese character. Right? That one will not be. It's not so urgent at the present moment. So don't need to think about that now. Just focus on hiragana first. Okay, so yes, don't need to worry about handwriting. I'll give you the penmanship. You can 抄写 when you're at home. Okay? So for now, just understand how to pronounce the word. Right? The focus should be on how to pronounce the word. Right? So now is the na row. Na, ni, nu, ne, no. Alright? So this one you just refer to the penmanship, but I just write one more time for you to see. And nu is just, we will do this one first. I got a pen. we will do this stroke first, then we do this stroke. Right, this will be nu. Right, you can see from the penmanship. Then ne is just like that. 1, 2, 3. Right, can also refer to the penmanship. Right, so it looks complicated, but it's not that complicated to write. Okay, so don't worry. Next, ha, ha, he, hu. Okay, you realize this is the H roll, right? How come got one F sound? This is why the F sound is actually not F sound. It's like in between the H and the F, right? So it's more of a H sound than an F sound, right? So for example, we say Mount Fuji, wrong, not Fuji, or Fuji apple. Sorry, it's wrong. It's more like Fuji, Mount Fuji, right? Fuji-san, hu, right? It's more like a hu sound, hu. So one more time, hu, right? So Fuji-san, Fuji-san. Right, just referring to Mount Fuji. Next, he. But 90% of the time, we don't read this as he. We read it as just the E sound alone. Right, just the E sound alone. We will learn this reason why is it a E sound in our 6th or 7th lesson. So don't worry about it now. Then you might be thinking, what is the difference between the one on top, the one all the way at the top? Okay, this one we call it right? The one below is so we drag out even a bit longer lah, right? So so the one below sounds more like AIR in English, air, right? Then the one on top is more of a shorter breath, Can? Then next we have ho. Then next we have the M row, the ma row, ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Right, then next we have the Y row, ya. Then you see the next one, hey, where is YI? Sorry, there's no YI sound. Because YI sounds very weird, it's like E. It's like how you pronounce YI and how do you tell the difference from I? Very hard, right? So we just say it is an E sound, which also means that actually we don't need to learn this one, right? Because it's already on top. Right, so this is actually nothing. Right, then the next one will be you, yo. Okay, so there is no I sound and no E sound. Can Of course, at the bottom row we also don't have this one. Okay, moving on to the ra row, we have. It's not really a R sound. In English, we pronounce the R sound as R, right? But sorry, you don't need to roll your tongue. For Japanese, it's like how our grandmother always say, radio, right? So it's not ramen, not ramen. It's more like a ramen, right? So same as this RA sound, it's more like la, right? La, right? It's more like a LAH, la sound rather than a RA sound. Don't overemphasize the R sound. Right? You don't hear Japanese people order ramen and say ramen, ra. There's no ra, right? This is not Lady Gaga. So we just pronounce it as L-A, ramen. Right? The next one, R-I, right? This one is not R-I, it's L-I. So we say li, right? Don't need to re or something, just li, right? So pronounce it like how your grandmother will pronounce radio, right? Radio. Next, R-U, right? Same thing, it's not ru, but ru, right? You know 乳制 you go into a Chai Fan store and you order the 乳制, the braised sauce, right? Ru. Then we have re, right? So radio, okay? It's not re, not rare, not do re mi, it's not rare, it's re. And the last one, lo, right? So not the RO sound, not row. We are not rowing a boat here, not row. So it's a LO sound, right? Row. Right? Then people ask you, so why not put L? There's no L in Japanese. It's R, but the R is pronounced as L. Okay? Yeah. So this is why you hear their English a bit weird. Because they use this kind of alphabet system to go and pronounce English. Right? That's why sometimes the R cannot listen properly one. Their R is like L. Right? So similar lah. So explains why our grandparents, they pronounce radio as radio. Japanese occupation lah. Okay, next the wa row, wa, Wa. Then we have the last one. It's not W-O but just O. So we pronounce it as O. O. Then what is the difference between the one on top and this one? Right, the one on top is more of a short sound. So we open our mouth bigger. O. O. The one below is O. O, our mouth is smaller. Smaller. Don't open so big. Yeah, smaller. Right, so O and O. Can you hear the difference? O. Like O lah, huh? O. So the on top one is more of a UH sound. O. The one below is more of a smaller O sound. So O. Right. O. So that is the main difference. Right. So we don't really write it as W-O. We pronounce it as, I mean it is W-O but we pronounce it more of a O sound. O. Okay, and then we have our last guy. Right, so this can sound very different when it's placed in different parts. But the general most one is right, how you like Okay?
Sorry.
Yes.
What did you just say?
The bottom one.
The N.
Yeah, we pronounce it as a
Consonant, just a consonant.
Yes, so we pronounce it as a But however, when we put it in front or we put it in the middle or we put it at the back, there might be a slightly different sound change. But don't worry about it at your level. N5, we don't need to worry about phonics. Right, so don't worry about it. We also don't have phonics class at this school. So if you are interested to pursue this phonics, intonation and phonics class, you can watch YouTube videos. For me, how I practice is I will listen to Japanese news. I mean, news they pronounce the best, right? That's why I watch CNA also. Just listen to
the
phonics.
language totally different, yeah.
What do you mean?
The keigo is...
True, but news don't really use that much keigo, you see. News is more of a reporting and then they use words that are very easy to understand. So I will listen to how they pronounce the words. More on how they pronounce the word. And if I learned the word before already, for example, like kyoushitsu, classroom, kyoushitsu. So how do they actually pronounce kyoushitsu? Is it like kyoushitsu or kyoushitsu or kyoushitsu, right? Like what is the intonation you see? So in this case, has different kind of intonation at different part of the word. Right? We will see them in a while. So don't worry.
My question, why you put that there? The
Because it is still a hiragana. There is still a hiragana, but we don't say like it's not like it's not under the na row, right? It's very different from the na row. It's just n alone. So we still need this to end the sentence. For example, in Chinese we have ta wan, right? One. Or we have chan. Right? So there's always like this n at the back to end the sound. Remember, Japanese is influenced by Chinese. So there is always this sound at the back for some words. Yeah, we just Yeah, so don't worry about we will learn when to use this. We will learn when to use it. So just absorb that this is part of the alphabet system. Yeah, it is part of the alphabet system.
So it's not a vowel.
It's not a vowel. It's just a particle, a word ender or a word starter.
Maybe
An article.
Maybe if I use my name as a example, my name is Samantha. So if I put in katakana, it's Saman. Sa.
It's just to create an extra sound, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So all this sound will play a role in the words that they will be combined with lah. So they are here to help us how to pronounce certain words, like improve the pronunciation of certain words, right? And then you look on the right hand side, we have this the combination ones. So these are what we call the contracted consonants, right? Contracted means become shorter. So just now I mentioned to you, for example, the first one is kya, right? It is a combination of ki and ya, right? Ki, ya, So ki, ya combines together, it becomes kya. We just shorten them only, right? We just combine them together. Ki and ya becomes kya, right? Pronounce after me, kya, kya, right? You know Hokkien? You know Hokkien? Right? Kya, right? You stay someone's home, right? Kya. Then next, Q, then Q, yeah. Then you might be wondering, so how I tell this apart from their respective difference? Got difference. You can see the second one is like a bit smaller. The second letter is a bit smaller, right? So this letter I would say is 40% size. 50 to 40 lah. Huh? Some people they say it's 50, but for me I write it smaller. I write at 40%. So the size of the second letter for this contracted consonant, I will write it at 40% size. So for example, I write ki at this is 100% size. I'll write my ya at 40% size. Otherwise, this is the 100% size I'm supposed to write. Can see the size difference.
So if you type this out, can you see the difference also?
Can. I show you. Wait, my tablet is lagging. Oh my god. Sorry. Why is it lagging? Kiya. So this is kiya, right? So we also have the kya. So you can see the difference in the size. Kiya and kya. Kiya and kya. Right? It's very obvious lah. It's the one is so small, one is so big.
So then will you ever use Kia? No,
We-
it was always together, right?
It depends. It depends. We might have to use kiya separately for some words. So this is just part of expanding the pronunciation package in this Japanese language. Right? We are just creating more sounds so that we can form more words. Right? So you just have to learn them lah. Okay, next we have the SH row. So sha,
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 shu,
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 sho,
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 cha,
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 chu,
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 cho,
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 nya,
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 new,
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 nyo,
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 hia,
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 hu,
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 hyo,
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 mia,
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 mew,
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 mew.
mew.
Right, so all these are the contracted sounds. Of course, we have one more row down there. So we use it for words that is very hard to pronounce. For example, below the mia, mew, mew, right? Mew, you might hear of it before lah. Myojin. Myojin is a type of shrine in Japan. So myojin. Mew, like Mewtwo lah, Mew, Pokemon lah. Or of course, museum, right? Mew. And then we have like mia, mia. At the moment, I cannot think of anything. But basically, they have their own purpose, right? They are used in Japanese words even as of now, as of current. Right? So for example, the NYU, new, newspaper, right? New. Sometimes they're used to form they are used to form foreign borrowed words. They are also used to form Japanese words as well. Okay, so this is the hiragana system, or the pronunciation is the same for katakana. So no difference in the pronunciation, just the way they are written. Alright, so for the katakana system, as you can tell, it's a little bit less cursive, a little bit more sharp, a little bit more, in Chinese we say 四四方方, right, a bit more squarish. Right, so of course I can send you the penmanship for katakana as well. I don't think they have it here printed, but I can send it to you as well. You can practice the katakana if you still have mental capacity to remember lah. I will send it to you. But otherwise, I try not to force my student to learn katakana in E1. Alright, E1 at this point in time, hiragana should be your main priority. Okay, for katakana, you feel free to ignore. But if you want to use it for your travel, feel free to memorize them lah. So for example, we will often see shop signs in Japan that will be written in katakana instead. For example, ramen, right? Some places they will write in hiragana. Some places they will write in katakana. There is no convention to say which one is correct or wrong. I mean ramen comes from, like, it's a Japanese word, right? Ramen. But however, some shop may feel like, I think it's more catchy, like it's more impactful if I use the katakana version to write it. So they'll be like ramen. Like, there's no convention to say that, oh, you want a Japanese word, you must write in hiragana. No. Shop owner can still choose to put their shop sign in katakana. Right? It's okay one. So for example, the word Toyota. Toyota actually has a Chinese character, there's a kanji. But they don't use the kanji to market, right? Because the Chinese word looks very complicated to write. And it's very less appealing for customer. So instead they use the katakana Toyota, right? In Japan, they use the katakana version, which is more easier to write, easier to read, and more impactful. So this is why some places in Japan, they still opt to use katakana system in their shop name, their dish name, right? So this is the reason why lah.
Is it the same for why sometimes the Kihongo and the Kitaigo is written in different?
Sorry, one more time.
Is it the same reasoning as why sometimes Kihongo and Kitaigo is written in like Goro? It's
So-
written in either katakana.
So Kitaigo, I never heard of it before.
Goro Goro Suru.
Oh, you mean the ononopi?
Yeah.
Ononopopi.
Because sometimes it's written in, I don't know what's the difference actually.
Okay, so those words, right? So basically, yeah, she's saying like, for example, there are some. Actually, Japanese is difficult because they also have like in Chinese we say 肚子咕噜咕噜叫, right? So I mean 咕噜咕噜 we have Chinese word for it, right? But in Japanese they don't really use a Chinese character to represent 咕噜咕噜. Instead, how to pronounce it in Japanese is actually goro goro, right? Goro goro. So this goro goro, there is no Chinese character to represent it in Japanese. So instead of using hiragana to represent, they use katakana to represent. Okay, so why is this so? I mean, it's not a foreign borrowed word, but if you think about it, it's a sound. It's a sound. So it's a bit more impactful if you write it separately from hiragana.
Okay.
Because it is a sound. So these are just some of the examples. We will not be learning that anytime soon. In fact, you will not learn that in GLPT. So the thing about GLPT, right, I was just discussing with my student the other day. Really, GLPT is a terribly planned exam. Okay, the test is MCQ. You don't need to write. You don't need to do oral. So you also don't need to write essay. So which means like the ability they're testing you is just ability to recognize kanji, like how to read certain words, the ability to not just read certain words but also can write out certain kanji. For example, they tell you like gohan is rice or meal. Then what is the kanji for gohan? Then they'll give you several options. So it's really testing your ability to recognize rather than test your ability to be able to use the language or speak the language. So I would say the GLPT is a terribly planned exam, but it's hard to administer this kind of exam now. Like if you want to have more than what they are testing right now, it's very hard to administer, right? Last time in primary school we have oral, right? We have to queue up and then go to the teacher and then 看图说话, right? That way of examining is very time consuming. So there's no way they can do it for GLPT, right? But anyways, they do it. They do it at NUS. So I was very, very lucky to be able to go through the NUS style lah. I mean, I learned a bit more. I learned how to write essays. I learned how to reply emails. I learned how to 看图说话, like look at the photo and then describe the photo. And then there's oral, there's reading as well, there's pronunciation and intonation. So I feel that it's much more comprehensive than what you will learn here in this school, as well as any other schools out there, like all the private schools, right? Because every school, they are preparing you for GLPT, they're not preparing you for the workforce. So if you are really, really, really interested to be learning Japanese for the workforce, I recommend NUS. They are open for public, but their fees are very expensive. It's $4,000 for one semester. One semester is only 3 months plus, right? But they promise you like 10 hours a week of lesson. So 4 hours lecture, 6 hours tutorial, right? So 10 hours a week, and then I would say it's very, very useful. It's more useful than what you'll be learning here. But if you just want to pass GLPT, I'm more than happy to have you here. But if you are looking for more than GLPT, they are afraid that the schools in Singapore, Ikoma, Bunka, even here as well, we are unable to serve you there, because firstly, there's not enough demand. Nobody wants to do more than what GLPT is doing. Everybody just want to do the bare minimum, just pass GLPT, get the cert, and then go and find employment. But then in the after employment, then they be like, wow, I cannot speak in the meetings, wow, I cannot write emails, wow, then that's too bad for you lah, right? I mean, but then honestly, since we are not native people, the company will not force us to also do this kind of thing lah, right? At most, for me, I feel that speaking is the most important. right? So JLPT is, I think, is sufficiently good enough for you to know how to speak, right? It's sufficient already, because you know the grammar, you know the vocab, then just shoot. Then you don't need to write email one lah, right? Don't need to describe anything one lah, just shoot, just say only, right? So that is the main difference between NUS education and also all these kind of private educators. What we are focusing on is different from what NUS is focusing lah. So if this is not what, if you are thinking of going for the intonation practices, the phonics practices, the 看图说话, the email, even the business culture kind, like how to hand over name cards, how to sit in a room, that kind of thing, then sorry, that one NUS will be better, right? Not here. Yeah. I mean I know lah. If you want me to do one-to-one with you, I also can. Just one-to-one lor. But there's no demand for this kind of class. Even if I open, nobody will sign up. Because not required for JLPT. Why need to learn so much when it's not going to come out in JLPT? Right? Some people are not going to pay extra for all these kind of extra classes. So it's either you self-learn or you go for NUS class. Alright? And again, that is that. We are not done. So just now above was all the, what we call the basic most alphabet system. We have even more conjugated. Conjugated means we add something. Like for example, we add two dots above. We add one circle above. It will change the sound again. Then when it change the sound means we can make more words, right? We can depict, we can say and pronounce more words. Yes. So let's look at this row now. So next we have the ga row. So what is the difference between this ga row and the k row, right? Ga and ka row. They look very similar, right? But if you can realize, just add two more dots only. Right? So we add two more dots, the sound changes to ga, ga, gi, gi, gu, gu, ge, go, za, ji. Okay, we pause here. You realize why is it not in zi? Why not like zi? Okay. So there is no zi sound here, or rather this ji sound here is actually just a placeholder lah, right? We already have g somewhere else already, right? We will learn it. Oh sorry, this is the g sound. So this g sound here is the best substitute for this zi sound, because it sounds weird if we say z or z, like in Chinese we say zi, right? zi. So in Japanese there's no such pronunciation. So instead of that, like since the original word is she, so she, we put these two dot, we cannot be like zhi, right? Like g, right? That will be like Chinese already. So instead the best one will be ji, right? To represent this sound will be ji. So g. Then next one will be z, z, zo. Then the D row will be da. Then this G, this second one, I can tell you, I rarely use this JI sound in my life lah. So if you want to ignore, can also. I only use it once in like the word cheese, right? Cheese. So cheese, we use this katakana. So other than that, very rarely I will use it. So I recommend you want to cancel it, also can. You want to try to remember it, also can. I rarely see this hiragana. Yeah, I rarely see this hiragana. I only saw this katakana once in like cheese, right? Cheese. Other than that, not really. Okay, next.
Sorry.
Yes.
Why is the ZU and the Zaro and the Daro for the U sound?
This one? Yeah, I haven't thought about this yet.
Oh.
Let me explain this. Okay, so next one, this is z. So you can think of it as a DZU sound. Okay? Same thing, I also rarely see this one. We only use it in one word called 続いて. To means to continue. Right? I only see it there only. So what the word I'm mentioning here is 続いて. Right? It means or 続きます. Right? That means to be continued. Like at the end of the drama, end of the anime, right? You will see like this word called 続いて. So we only use it here once, right? So the difference is 此之. Right? You can hear 此之. It's a D sound. It's more of a DZU sound, right? 子. Other than that, we don't really use it anywhere else, right? I only see it once in my life. Other than that, I had never seen any other words using this sound. Right, so this is very rare. These two sounds is very rare. Right? These two sounds is very rare. Yeah, so if you want to forget about it also can, because we rarely see it. When we see it, I'll let you know. Really, we rarely see it. Okay, next we have the de. De. Do. Do. Right, next we have the B roll. Ba. Bi. Pu. Sorry, bu. Be. Bo. Right, so the be and the be is like both the hiragana and the katakana, they look the same, right? You can just write them the same. Both of them, you can just write them the same. Although it looks a bit different, there's like slight difference, but just write them the same. It's okay. Okay, so that's the B row. Then next we have the P row. The P row is just instead of 2 dots, we put 1 circle. Right? So the first one is pa. P. Pu. Pe. Po. Right? So this is the P row. So far okay, any questions? No question. Then we have, of course, if their original have this contracted consonant, then their 2 dots version also have their respective contracted consonants, contracted sounds as well. So for the G row we have kya, Q, Kyo, Ja, Ju, Jo, Bia, Biu, Bio. Okay, so if it helps you better, you can write this as JYA, you can write this as JYU, you can write this as JYO, if it helps you understand the pronunciation better. Right? Ja, Ju, Jo. So in certain textbook they will write JA, JU, JO. Some other textbook they may write JYA, JYU, JYO. So it depends on the textbook. But then again, this is Romaji, this is training wheel. So it doesn't matter what textbook write. So because you're not going to use it very long. Right? I think I'll give you some time to absorb this. Okay, then you can see the one below, you see the dotted box. There are even more sounds that cannot be represented in Japanese. So all these you can see they are mostly in katakana. Okay, so for example, I'll give you one FE. Where is FE? So FE, right? For example, like they like to say festival, right? Festival, fest, right? So they will use this FE sound instead for festival, because festival is a foreign borrowed word, it's borrowed from English. But then they cannot write it in Japanese, or they cannot write it in the katakana system. It's like the sound is way beyond what they have in their current phonics bank. So they need to create new combination like this so that they can pronounce English, Chinese words or even English words. Right? So for example, my Chinese name is Hong Wei. So Wei, how to pronounce Wei in Chinese? In Japanese? No way, right? So they will just contract it as Hong Wei. Yeah. So it's to create like even more ways to pronounce foreign borrowed words. Right? Right, I'll give you some time to absorb this page. We will take a short break first. Let me just sort out this junk on the table first. Right, you all slowly absorb. I will take questions, don't worry. If you want to ask, also can.
So you can so when let's say if you want to write your name, you need to write in katakana only.
Ours is katakana because we are not Japanese, so we are foreign people, so we have to write our name in katakana. If you guys need the toilet is all the way behind. Yeah, there is the toilet here. Like just open this door and turn right. It's within the unit. anyone still holding on to like this kind of paper? Yeah, can I have it back? Can I have it back? Yeah, this kind of paper. Or this one, the alphabet system. Anyone holding on to this? No, not really. Can we pass take one set?
One set, yeah.
I might not think that there's enough for the whole class, but don't worry, I will send the virtual copy to the WhatsApp group. If the aircon is too cold, let me know. I can adjust. Everybody have, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
One set.
Yeah, you have one set?
This one set, no.
Yeah, it's like a few pages, 3 pages I thought. 4 pages. 4 sheets. Yeah, 4 sheets. 4 sheets. It's 4 sheets together.
I think I have 3.
Oh, I think this is the main.
Oh, thank you.
You say 4 sheets.
Yeah, 4 sheets of paper. I have 4. How many you have? You are missing this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are missing this one.
Oh.
Yeah. Then I have. Can I see what I'm missing? Yeah, you are missing this one. Oh, thinking why I got the. Okay, then correct already. 4 sheets in total. I will send a virtual copy in case you are missing anything. Yeah. Can I have you open your phone and scan this QR code to join the WhatsApp group? Does it? Okay, yeah.
I think it's connection. Hold up your phone again.
Please work. Aiyo. You know what, I will just walk around with this. Everybody. Oh my god. Okay, so most of the instructions I will post it there. So if the sensei is going to be late, which I don't think will happen again. I usually not late one. Unless somebody just starts me telling me, hey, cover this leh. Then I have to car all the way from Kovan. I mean, I live in Tampines, but I have class in Kovan in the morning. And then at night I also have class in Kovan. So I'm expecting myself to stay at Kovan for the whole day. This timing I'll be at my grandma's house at Hougang. So then he's like, hey, I know you're free. Then okay lah, cover for you. Yeah, so very sorry for the delay. Yeah. I don't know what's happening to the monitor.
One question. So
Yes.
it's essential that we complete both elementary 2 and elementary.
Yes, to go for N5. Yeah. If N5 is so easy to complete in 30 hours, then I think it's so easy lah. Yeah, because one level is 30 hours only mah. So if you can get N5 in 30 hours, I think a lot of people will go and take already. Right? So not that easy. Not that difficult also. 90 hours is the recommended hours by the official Japanese the accreditation website as well.
And then if we have to miss, we just post the video online.
I will post, but if I am not around and then another person will replace me, then I don't know whether the teacher will record the session or not. But for my session, I will record. Then you can catch up the video lah. So I can let you know which days I'm not available. So currently the class schedule, right, is currently we have first 25, 2, 1, 2, 8, 2, 15, 2, 22, 3, 1, 3, 8, 3, 15, 3, 22, 3, 29, 4, 5, 4, 12. So these are all the classes. These are all the classes that we already arranged, we have agreed on for this class. Now let me tell you which days I won't be making it. Then it will be replaced by another sensei called Yutaro Sensei, Kitara Sensei. He's the second gen owner of this school. So he'll replace me for those dates. Yeah. So 2.8 I'm not available, 2.15 I'm not available, 3.15 I'm not available, 4.15 I'm not available. So this one doesn't mean no class, it just means not me. So please come, but it's not me. Okay? So take photo, please remember what it means. Not because there's no class, there is class. Okay, just that I can't make it on these days. Yeah, I mean it's public holiday season, so traveling. Right? Not band, but still got class. Okay, not me, but still got class. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Any questions with the hiragana? Everybody can understand, can memorize already. Need some time. It's okay, we have practices to try. Okay, let's continue with the lesson. So we go on to the next page, right? You should have this page called the long vowels, am I right? This page we have the long vowels. Okay, so in Japanese, as if just now what we have learned is not enough to pronounce Japanese words, we have even more sounds. So one of it is called the long vowels. So long vowels is like, for example, we say employee, right? Double E, right? Employee. So same thing in Japanese, we have long sounds. So in this case, our A-E-I-O-U can be doubled in length. So double in length becomes 2 mora, right? It means 2 breath. So instead of saying like, okay, so for example, like saying, right, Oba-san. Oba-san simply means aunt, right? Oba-san. Right? How to pronounce this? O-ba-sa-n. Oba-san. 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 Then you look on the right side, we have O-ba-a-san. Right, there's an extra A. Right, so the difference between this and this is because this one has a roof over it. So the roof simply means long sound. Right, so this is how we write it in Romaji. If you want to write it in hiragana, right, oba-san, o-ba-san. This is oba-san. This is o-ba-a-san. Right, you can see there's an extra a sound for the second one. So oba-san versus oba-san. Right, you can hear the difference. Oba-san, oba-san. Oba-san, oba-san. Right, so this long sound means it's a different word already. Right, so we have to be very careful because you don't want to be calling your aunt grandmother accidentally. Like you go out and call auntie, but at the end you call the grandmother. So please be careful with this. Same for oji-san. Oji-san versus oji-san. Right, oji-san, oji-san. There's an extra I sound. Right, oji-san. Similarly, we have snow, which is yuki. And then we have the U with a roof over it. The U with a roof over it simply means it's double U sound. Right? So we pronounce it as yuki. Right? So yuki, yuki. Yuki, yuki. Then for the next one, we have picture, which means e. Right? E. And then yes will be e. E. Right? The second one, yes, is double E sound. So double E sound is e. E. So e versus e. Right? A versus A. Right? We also have the others, like for example, toru, right? Pass versus toru, 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 toru. Right? The O with a roof simply means it is a OU sound. Right? It means it's a OU sound. So I just repeat again. So A with a roof equals to double A sound. E with a roof represents double E sound. I with no roof, there's no roof, right? But double I means E sound, right? Double I sound. Then we have our O with a roof. This is OU sound, right? OU sound. U with a roof, it simply refers to double U sound, right? So this is the long sound that we have here. Okay. Anyone have any question with this long sound? No, then we move on to the next section. So next section.
Can I ask?
Yes.
I'm just curious, like for writing wise, right? Does the extra word need to be smaller or?
No need. This is long sound. So even we don't write it smaller because smaller will become a contracted sound. We don't want to be a contracted sound. Contracted sound means shorter sound. We want a long sound, right? So we don't write it small. Okay. Next, we have the pronunciation of N, but basically it just means that the position of the N word will mean a different sound, but the different sound is not that different, right? Sometimes, I mean, in English, right, some of the N sounds like M sound, some of it sounds like right, different kind of sound. So don't need to focus so much, don't need to pay attention too much on this one. Just pronounce like how you normally will. For Singaporeans, it's very straightforward, right? It's very straightforward. So for example, number 1, hantai, undo, sendo, minna. Right? Before the sound, right, the BAPA becomes shinbun, right? There's no difference, right? You don't hear the difference. So it's not a very big thing. So what I want to say is not a very big thing. So don't worry, just pronounce it as per normal, how you pronounce in Chinese, how you pronounce in English. Right? It's not a very big thing. It's not like suddenly got one very different sound, like just now the E and the HE, right? E and E, right? That one will be different. But this one, the difference very, very hard to hear. Moving on to the next page, we have the double consonant, right? As if we don't have enough already, they want us to learn this thing called the double consonant. So you can see the example. We have buka versus buka, right? Buka versus buka. So buka, subordinate. Buka, right? We have double K. So how we pronounce it is we will separate the two K. The first K will accompany the word before it. The second K will be with the word after it, right? So right? For example, this is BU. BU is boo, boo, right? Boo, we put a K, book, right? Become book. So book and ka, buka. So you can hear that I took a short pause, right? Buka, buka versus buka, right? First one subordinate buka. Second one is commodity prices, which means prices lah. So buka, buka. I will take a short pause in between the two Ks, right? Buka. Of course, for fire, kasai, kasai versus kasai, 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 kasai. Can you hear the difference? Right? For double S one, the one of the S go in front. Right? For the double S one of the S will go in front, following the ka. So instead of saying kasai, we say kasai. Right? So kasai, 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 kasai. You can hear the double S sound. Really got two S kind of sound. Right? Kasai, kasai. Then for sound and husband, oto, 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 oto. Right? The double T sound, right? I just separate in between the two T. The first T will go and pronounce with the previous word. After that, the second T will pronounce with the word after. Right? So oto, oto. Right? We also have other examples like nikki, nikki, zashi, zashi, kite, kite, ippai, ippai, koppu, koppu, betto, betto. Right? You can hear the sound. You can hear there's a short pause. Right? So this is what we call by double consonants.
So
Yes.
how do you write it in hiragana? Because we don't have.
Oh, okay. I thought you write it below, but okay. So how we represent this is, for example, I use the oto. So this is oto, right? Oto versus. Sorry, my writing is bad. Versus oto. So we have a small zi, right? Small zi. Same thing. This guy is about 40% of the size, so it is a small zi. So it's represented by a small zi, TSU. But we don't pronounce zi. We don't say like o zi to. No, sorry. The zi just becomes, for example, this oto. The next letter is T, so it will represent a T. Right? For example, kasai. Kasai. So this is SA. So this guy will replicate the S after it. So it will follow the next sound. Can see? Cannot see. Can?
So this is considered mora.
So okay, no, this is not considered mora. Mora is how we pronounce. So o, this is one mora, this is two mora. Oto, oto. This is considered as one mora. So ot, oto. Right, this is o, this is ot. O. It's that's how we pronounce it. So this is OT sound. This is the O sound. Right? This is the O sound. This is the OT sound. Right? Because of the small zi. So O, to. Right? This small T sound. This is OT sound. O. So o. You okay?
So
You'll take a
we're
while.
supposed to, eventually we're supposed to construct this, right?
Yes.
For now we're just learning the.
Yeah, for now you're just learning. I will introduce you many vocabulary, then you will see like when is this used.
Oh, I realized they never teach the long vowel dish.
For your class lah.
No, like this class, they never write also.
Long vowels before what?
And then usually they will have a dash to journey.
Oh, okay, the one is Romaji. There is. So, for example, we want to say like taxi. Okay, the one we will talk about it later. For now, we focus on this one first, because someone need to leave at 4. So, let me just finish this first. The Romaji is not a very big part of what we want to focus on.
So all these double consonant, you still write it with the small zi, right?
Yes.
For this specific form. 5.
Yes, we write the small zi. So double consonant, we write the small zi. We will explore them again when we have actual examples of words.
Oh, okay.
So for now, we just take it that such thing exists. Double consonant exists, contracted sound exists, right? So for now, just understand that this kind of thing exists in Japanese pronunciation, right? So you don't need to force yourself to memorize all the examples here. We will go through a vocabulary list, then that's where I will point out, okay, this is our contracted sound, okay, this is our long sound, right? This is how we write it as a long sound, right? So don't need to worry about it right now. Okay, so pronunciation of garo, this is not very important, but basically sometimes the G sound changes, but don't need to worry about this. The voicing of vowels, right? So some things like for example ski, right? Ski means I like, but we don't need to pronounce the SU sound. Like we don't need to say the U sound. Like we don't need to say suki, right? We can just say ski. So it's like a SKI sound. So the U is silent. Right? We see this in other example. For example, the des and the mas. Right? We don't say desu, masu, right? Only anime characters say so. We don't really say desu, masu. It's very cute. It's very like you're trying to act cute. Right? We don't need to say desu, masu. Des, mas. Right? For example, word like taxi, right? In Japanese we say takushi, right? Taxi. We don't say takushi, right? So we don't say takushi. We say taxi, for example. Right? The U is silent. Taxi. So for some words, the I is also silent. Right? So this one we will see them as we go along. For now, don't need to memorize anything. Just understand that there's such thing called silent U, silent I. Okay? Then of course accent. I didn't want to talk about this, but anyways, if you're interested, accent simply means like the pitch. In Chinese we have 汉语拼音, right? 上, 下, then flat, and up and down. Okay, so in Japanese it's very similar. We have something like that also lah. Okay, I just want to point out two examples. For example, nose and flower. You can see they are both hana, right? They're both hana. But nose, we say hana. Flower, we say hana. So hana. So there's two different sounds even though they're using the same hiragana. At the same time, I don't need you to memorize this. Just understand there's different sound. Right? If you're interested to pursue this will be under Japanese phonics. Right? So next.
Just curious. So you
Yeah.
will write it differently?
Same.
Same way.
Same way. But the Chinese character will be different. The kanji will be different. But if you want to read it in the literature, the hiragana will be the same. But the kanji is the one that is different. So in a way, like you read manga, you can still understand what is it because the kanji is different. Yeah. Then you can still hear people pronounce differently, so you can understand which word they are saying. But also it's by context also lah. You can also tell the difference by context, right? Next, between Tokyo and Osaka, there's also different accent, right? So this is just for you to FYI. Even for the same thing, flower, there's also different pronunciation, right? This one is different in areas lah, Osaka and Tokyo. Next will be the intonation. So I think intonation wise, Singaporeans are very good at it. Because in Singlish we like, can go. Right? You all know already lah. Huh? So the rising, the flat and the falling sound, right? Rising means ask question, can go? Right? Can go. Right? So you all know, understand intonation very well. Singaporeans always use this. Okay? So that's all about the introduction to the Japanese phonics. Okay, to whatever how you pronounce everything. So don't worry about the dash and everything. We will see that in the vocabulary list. Right, then I will introduce again there. Okay, so yeah.
Can go.
No worries. Can go. Right, so let's just catch up the rest on the recording.
Can I find the video?
I will send to the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the rest is I won't talk about this classroom language. But the greetings wise, I think if you're learning for the first time, let's talk about the greetings lah.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next week. Yeah. See you next week.
Why is it sliding?
No, push. The knob.
Bye guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Sorry, Rachel, how would you say I use my nose to smell the flower?
鼻で花を匂いします。Like 匂い smell, to smell. Okay. Okay, so greetings. I believe some of us in Singapore are very familiar with all this lah, but they pronounce it very terribly, especially the Shushiro stuff. Okay, number 1, Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Okay, so this O with a roof simply means it's a OU sound, right? Long O sound. Right, so we say Ohayo, Ohayo, Ohayo. At the same time, there's no I, right? There's no Ohio, right? We always say Singapore, Ohio, Ohio. There's no E sound. Why got E out of nowhere, right? So it's just Ohio, Ohio. There's no Ohio, right? Please don't pronounce the E sound, right? Ohio gozaimasu, right? So gozaimasu is just a very formal way to say something, right? We will learn that in like N2, so way ahead. So at this present moment, just memorize this. Okay, Ohio gozaimasu. Number 2, konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Same thing, we have this double N sound, right? So this N will go with the one in front, the other N will be alone as one mora by itself. So kon. So konnichiwa. Right, simple. Right, I always hear Singaporean konnichiwa. As if the first N doesn't exist. Right, it's not konnichiwa, it's konnichiwa. Okay, number 3, konbanwa. Konbanwa. Right, this means good evening. It can also means like good night, like at night lah. Greetings in the evening or greeting at night. Right, konbanwa. So the moment like the sun goes down, you can use konbanwa already.
So that N is that N that you're talking about.
Yeah, konban. Yeah.
The sound.
Yeah, konbanwa. If not, it'll be kobawa, which is very different, right? That's why there's a rule of the N sound. Konbanwa. It changes the sound of the word. Right? Konnichiwa doesn't really just mean hello. It just means good afternoon. But we use it all the time, so it's like a general way to say hello any time of the day. Right? And then the last one will be sweet dreams, good night. Oyasumi nasai. Okay, we break it up. Oyasumi. Oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. Right? It simply means like good night, sweet dreams. Right? Have a good rest. Literal meaning is please have a good rest. Right? This is the literal meaning. Because yasumi means rest, nasai means please. So please rest. Right? Please rest, which means good night. Okay, moving on to number 5. Sayonara. Sayonara. Right? So depending on the region, in Tokyo we will say sayo with a long O sound, right? Sayonara. In Osaka they will just be sayonara, sayonara, without the extra O sound. So different region have different pronunciation of this sayonara. Okay? Yeah, I'm just saying, like Osaka, they will just be like sayonara without the long O sound. Like just a normal O. Sayonara. Right? In Tokyo it will be longer. Sayonara. Okay? Next, number 6. Arigato. 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 Right? To sound, right? T-O-U sound. Right? There is a O-U sound. There is a long O sound. Arigato. Right? Not like what Singapore always say, arigato, arigato. There's a U, there's a long O sound, right? So drag it out, right? Arigato gozaimasu. Okay, number 7, sumimasen. Sumimasen. Okay, sumimasen is simply what we say like 抱歉 in Chinese. Right? We just say 抱歉 if you want to say like excuse me, or we want to say like sorry. Right, so it's like a bit like paise, right? It's like a bit equivalent to paise. We can use it very universally. Right, next one. How to say sorry officially, like 对不起, right? Anybody have heard it before? So ごめんなさい is a bit more kiddie, a bit more children. ごめんなさい, right? This is like 对不起. Like, would you say 对不起 nowadays at your current age?
Yes.
I won't say. It's very 小孩子, very kiddie. So I will just like 抱歉.
What were boomers?
对不起 sounds very low, like children will use more often one. in Japanese, people still use gomenasai, but a bit rare lah. It's a bit more kiddie. So
But you
sumimasen.
hear it in J drama all the time.
Yeah, that's why I say it depends on the person how he feels towards this word. I just feel that this gomenasai is a bit more childish. It's the equivalent of 对不起 in Chinese. Unless you are really, really repentful, then you might want to use gomenasai. Yeah. So otherwise, I will just use sumimasen. If it's just like a casual bump and then paiseh, I will just say sumimasen. Of course, there are even way more advanced way to apologize lah.
申し訳
申し訳ございません。恐縮なんですが、申し訳お詫びを申し上げます。Yeah, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to apologize. Okay, number 8. お願いします。お願いします。お願いします。Okay, this means please. But お願いします is actually a very versatile word to use. You can use it with anything that you want to request. Same as kudasai. But however, what's the difference between kudasai? Kudasai is more of like you are the okay. Kudasai is when you know the other party have to listen to you. They have to deliver what you want, what you're asking. Right? For example, waiter, waitress, right? Hotel receptionist. Right? You don't really use kudasai with your boss because kudasai in a very how do I put it, like low key, it is like you have the authority to ask the person to do something, please. Right? So if you want to use it like to your boss, we will prefer to use onegai shimasu. It's more polite. It is more like it more sound like you are the beggar. It sounds more like, in Japanese, humility is everything. You have to make yourself from a very humble point of view. So if you say kudasai, it's like you are giving instructions to someone, like please do this. If you are using onegai shimasu, it's like can you please help me do this? Right? So yeah, it's like you are more of the damsel in distress. You are more of the beggar in this case. Right? So we use onegai shimasu most of the time because we are the beggars. Right? Most of the time we are the beggars. Okay? So kudasai is can use, but make sure you know who are using it to. Like the other party is below, lower status than you, lower authority than you, have to listen to you, then you use kudasai. Right? If the person is higher than you, please try not to use kudasai. I mean, the person probably will not fault you, but you try not to use kudasai with higher authority people. Okay, I know this is very heavy for you to understand. Like, wow, first lesson already talk about which one can use, which one cannot use. Pinch of salt, right? You can still use either one, whatever you prefer, right? But the hidden meaning or the more deeper meaning is like that, lah. Okay, people will not fault you. Yeah.
Sorry, because just now you mentioned devoicing of vowels.
Yes.
So, S-A-I, oyasuminasai.
Oyasuminasai.
The I is a silent or not silent?
This I.
The last I of the, yeah.
If without the I, it will be nasa. Nasa. Nasai.
So
we need the
not
I.
all the time the last.
Yeah.
The
So
last
when
silence.
is it silent? It really a few exceptions. I will tell you when there's an exception.
Oh.
But most of the time, please don't ignore them. Yeah. I will tell you when we can ignore them. Okay, same as this gozaimasu. Some people will be like gozamasu. Then the E missing. Gozamasu. Gozaimasu. Right, we need the E. If it's gozamasu, sounds very weird already. Okay, we will move on to, okay.
Is
Yes.
there a reason why there's a dash there? Or just
Which dash?
the onegai shimasu?
Onegai, no reason. It's supposed to be together as one word. But I think they dash it to make it easier for you to see. Right, it's supposed to be stick together one. Onegai shimasu is together. But this is romaji, so even if there's a gap, the actual hiragana doesn't have a gap. The hiragana will be read in one shot. It'll be like a train like that. A hiragana train. There's no
gaps, right?
There's no gaps. Yeah, there's no gaps. Okay, so that's all for this one. I want to go on to, okay, so all these symbols and abbreviations, this is for you to understand lah. Okay, let's go on to the counting. I want to talk about the counting. Yeah, since our dear friend probably know how to count already since he's 3/4 Japanese, she probably can count, so I will talk about counting.
Non-PhD.
Is it not there? What? Yeah, let me see. It's not here. You search this one for me. Don't have. This is okay. This is a terrible printing. Wow, I'm so confused how to use this textbook. I am so
This
confused.
is not another Nihongo.
I don't know what is this also. I have the e-file because I previously tried to use this textbook but I hated it so much. Oh my god.
You can send this to us.
Can. I will print it for you actually. I will bring it in the next class.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, I will not talk about numbers today because it's not in the handout.
Hi.
I don't know what's wrong with the... Okay, I think you have this one, right? Lesson 1. Okay, we talk about vocabulary first. Apologies. I'm not very used to this textbook. Different teacher use different textbook.
What textbook is this?
I have no idea. Yeah,
What
I
textbook are
think...
you using?
I think it's Mina no Nihongo, but it doesn't look like it, right? Yeah, so I also don't know what latest it is. Different teacher use different textbook. For me, I am using the one that has been being taught in this tuition agency for the past 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, I've been using that one all the time. So I don't know why some of the teachers want to be like different. Because that one is sufficient actually. That one is more like very sufficient. Okay, anyways, let's talk about lesson 1, vocabulary. Everybody on this page? Yeah. Okay, lesson 1. Repeat after me. Watashi.
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 Anata.
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 Ano.
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 Ano kata.
Ano kata.
Ano kata.
Ano kata.
Ano hito.
Ano hito.
Ano hito.
Ano hito.
Okay. San.
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 Chan.
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 Jin.
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 Okay. We usually won't use chan that often, so you can ignore that. Next, sensei.
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 Kyoshi.
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 So you can see, right, the O with a roof, right? So it's a long O sound. So kyoshi.
Kyoshi.
Right. Next, gakusei.
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 Then you realize there's no U, right? That's where our U goes silent. Right? Gakusei. Next, kaishain.
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 Shain.
Shine.
Shain.
Shine.
Ginkoin.
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 So ginko by itself means bank. In just simply means employee. So ginkoin means
Ginkoin.
bank employee. Right, so you can split up the word. Ginko. Ginko simply means bank. Right? Isha.
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 So it's doctor. Kenkyusha.
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 Right, so W sound, so long U sound. Moving on to the next one. Daigaku.
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 Right? So for university student, we say Daigakusei. Right? Sei simply means student. Right? Daigakusei. Then you realize, the U is silent. Right? Daigaku. But however, when we put it with a sei behind, it becomes Daigakusei. The U becomes silent. Right? So the pattern you can see a bit like, so if the U is like in the middle somewhere, it's probably got chance it's silent. Right? So Daigaku simply means university student. Right? So Daigakusei, the U is silent already. However, when it's the university by itself, we say Daigaku. Daigaku. Right? So Daigaku, the U is there. But Daigakusei, the U is missing. Okay, next we have Byoin.
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 Same thing, we have a long OU sound, so please check out the pronunciation. The funny thing is Byoin and Byoin, right? So just now you were saying like, wait, cannot zoom in. Okay, so Byoin, right? This is Byoin. Right, so Byoin, it becomes salon, hair salon, like beauty salon. Right, so please understand the difference between the contracted sound and the non-contracted sound. Byoin, Byoin. Alright? So don't use the wrong name when you have medical emergency. Right? You bought the taxi and then please go to the Byoin, then the person bring you to the salon. Right? Instead of the hospital. So yeah, please use the right one. So Byoin, Byoin. Right? So you are wondering whether there's a difference in the contracted sound or not. Yes, there is a very big difference. Especially in life or in emergency. You don't want to go to the wrong place. Okay, so Byoin, Byoin. So please take note of the differences. Next we have Dare, Dare, Donata, Donata. So Donata is the more polite version. Right? We use Donata more than just Dare. Right? So please use Donata more often. Next we have Sai, Sai. Years old. Nansai. Nansai. So Nansai means what age, right? 几岁. Then also, of course, there's a more polite way which is O ikutsu. O ikutsu. O ikutsu. Right? It simply means like how old, but in a more polite way. Okay, we move on to the next one. We have height. Height. Iye. Iye. Right? Yes and no. Can? The vocabulary list. So for you to review at home, right? We have the next page. Because they have this range you see. So hajimemashite. Hajimemashite. Right? Then we also have karakimashita. Karakimashita. Honestly, the reason why I don't really like to use this textbook, I mean I taught it once. I don't really like this textbook is because we will learn this kara in nearer to the end of the lesson. So now you are thinking, what is this kara here? What does kara mean? What does kimashita means? So in the flow of this textbook is not very ideal. You see, I don't really like the flow of this textbook. Let me see if I can get you guys the textbook that I always teach. I rather use that one to teach actually. Alright, so maybe we'll change textbook next week. Or maybe not. I will discuss with the director, see which one he prefer. Yeah. So I don't really like this textbook lah. Just putting it out front. Okay, next. どうぞよろしく。どうぞよろしく。Alright, so どうぞ simply means like 请. Like in Chinese we just say 请, like please. So it's a polite way to offer something, like 请. よろしく. So よろしく simply means like be friendly to me. Like, so please be friendly to me. Or please be nice to me. Right? So usually we use this at the end of self-introduction. So usually we like telling people like 荣幸见到你 我希望你能照顾我 that kind of thing. Right? It's like really very very formal salutations lah. Right? So it's just telling other people nice to meet you, please take care of me. Like, from now on I'll be in your care, that kind of thing. In English we don't really say such things, so it sounds very weird to you. But in Japanese we need to start practicing like this kind of requests. Right? So next we have 失礼 失礼 失礼. So we break out the word is shi, tsu, and re. Right? Not re, re, L-E. R is L sound. R is L sound. So 失礼 失礼. So 失礼 means rude. Okay? It means rude. So 失礼ですが. Right? We will learn this guy in a while. But when we put it in this case, we are saying like sorry to be rude. Like I'm going to be rude, but something. Okay? Just learn the word 失礼. I will explain the ですが later. Next we have お名前は? お名前は? So the word 名前 here simply means name. Okay? It simply means name. So the name. Okay, 名前. I will talk about what later. For now, you all don't focus so much about the sentence. Okay, so I skipped the karakimashita because that one is higher level grammar. I won't explain what is that first. Okay, and then let's skip the kochira wa. We will learn it in a while. Okay, so we have America. Igiris. Indo. Indonesia.韓国. Thai. 中国
中国
ドイツ
ドイツ
日本
日本
ブラジル
ブラジル
So you can see that because these are foreign countries, right? So the way we write them in Japanese is in the katakana system. So whatever that you see here is all in the katakana system, with the exception of Korea, China, Japan, right? I mean, it's not intentional, but okay, you see Hankoku, right? We can write it in Japan. You can write it in Japanese. Like in Chinese, we say Hanko, right? The word "guo" it simply means a country, but in English, it's called Korea. So what if you want to write it in literally in like Korea, right? We can pronounce it in Japanese Korea. Then if you want to write Korea, it will be in katakana, right? So however, if you write it in their respective Japanese name, like Hankoku is Korea, then it will be in hiragana.
I always thought it's because we were occupied by them.
Somewhat lah, yes lah. But there, I mean, because Japanese has in Japanese language there is a specific word to mention Korea and China. That's why it is in hiragana. Otherwise, China, then you can write in katakana already. Right? Korea, China. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, because we have a specific word for this country, that's why we can still write them in hiragana. The way of referencing them is in Japanese. It's not foreign. It's not a foreign borrowed word. Right? Then I will skip the fictitious companies things below. That one not important. Okay. You guys have the grammar notes page, right? This page. Have okay, let's talk about the grammar notes. Okay, so grammar is what makes up the language, right? We need it to combine different things together. Right? In a language, we have nouns. Okay, nouns are things like I, you, Tampines, Kovan, right? Things like Japan. These are nouns. They are things. Right? We also have things like adverbs. Okay, so adverbs is like very, damn. Okay, these are adverbs. So we can also be like for example, highly recommended, that kind of thing. So these words are called adverbs. We also have words like verbs, right? So verbs are words like action, like whatever we are doing, right? For example, do, buy, sell, sit, eat, right? These are what we call verbs. Right? Then we also have adjectives. Okay, so adjectives are words like beautiful car, fast car, expensive car, right? Things to describe a noun. So adjectives are things to describe a noun. Adverbs are the intensity, to what degree are these adjectives, like very beautiful, right? Very. And then verbs are just words to describe nouns. So these are just to recap what are all these lah. So in Japanese, for a start, we will just learn about nouns only. Then mid lesson, we will talk about verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. Okay, for now we focus on noun only. Right, so number 1, we have N1 wa, N2 there. So noun 1 is noun 2. So N1, noun, right? For example, me or I. Wa, N2 there. So N2 can be things like student, right? Gakusei, student. So me wa gakusei desu. Right, so basically it means I am student. So this wa simply is our, what we call the subject particle. So subject means whoever is the main character in our sentence that we are saying, right? Whatever is the focus that we are saying in this sentence, our main character. Okay, so when I say I am a student, right? Who am I talking about? I. Right? I'm talking about I. So about me, right? I am a student. So student is a noun. I is also a noun, right? So in English, our grammar will be is, right? Okay. I am, right? Or he is a student, right? He is. So is or am is what we consider a particle in Japanese, right? They are used to connect two nouns together, right? They are used to connect two nouns together. But of course, in English, we say I am a student. There is a right? This is a counter. But in Japanese, we don't need to include the counter, right? We don't need to talk about this counter. So I am student. Full stop. Right? I am student. Okay, next, the example number 1. Watashi wa Mike Mira desu. So watashi is I. Mike Mira is the person's name, right? So it's talking about his name. So I am Mike Miller. So, or he is Mike Miller, for example. So we have this particle wa to represent like am or is in Japanese, right? He is, I am, she is, they are, right? So this is how we form this very basic way to say like I am this, I am that, right? We use this particle called wa, which is the subject particle, right? Subject, it tells the subject in this sentence. So far so good. Next we have des. Okay, I will always say des has no meaning. It is just there for politeness only. Okay, so no meaning one. So I mean, you see, I am Mike Miller. I am Mike Miller. I don't need anything behind, right? Yeah. So this des is just to tell people, oh, I finished my sentence already. Okay. So it really means nothing. But you will see some sentence they will say like des means is or am. I would say no lah. Okay, I would say it's wrong. Okay, but des is just politeness towards the listener. It's just a form of politeness. That's all. If you don't end the sentence with des, it's like, wow, you macam rude, yeah. Right? So we try to end the sentence with des if we are talking about a noun. Right? And then we will end the sentence with must if we are talking about a verb. We will learn about verbs midway of this lesson. Okay, next, number 2. N1 wa N2 ja arimasen. So just now I said N1 wa N2 des, right? That means I am Mike Miller des. But now I want to say I am not Mike Miller, right? In English we just add a not, but in Japanese it's a bit of change, huh? So des, right? Des doesn't just serve as a polite marker. I mean, alone it means it is a polite marker, but we can also serve as a negative conjugator. That means we can make it negative, right? We can also make it past tense. We can make it negative. So des has a role in the sense, but by itself it really means nothing. Okay, so let's look at number 2. N1 wa N2 dewa. Dewa, the one in the bracket. Dewa arimasen. So des just change to dewa arimasen to make it negative, right? So when we change des to dewa arimasen, becomes I am not Mike Miller. Right, so of course dewa and ja is interchangeably, right? We can use, if you prefer to use ja, you use ja. If you don't want to use ja, you use dewa. Both is the same meaning. Both is same. It's just I see which one you prefer. Previously I thought ja was more rude, but it turns out when I ask Japanese people, they all say like no, same. Right? So, but for me I always use dewa. I don't use ja. For me it sounds a bit too casual to use ja. Right? So for example, number 3 sentence example, Santos-san, right? Santos-san wa gakusei ja arimasen. Gakusei dewa arimasen. So gakusei desu means I'm student. Gakusei dewa arimasen means not student. Right? So gakusei dewa arimasen. So not a student. Not student. Moving on to number 3, N1 wa N2 desu ka. So noun 1 is noun 2 desu ka. So this ka is just basically to ask question, right? In Japanese we don't have question mark, right? Yes, contrary to belief, yes, there is no question mark in Japanese. Although in manga we keep seeing them, wow, everywhere also spam question mark. Sorry, those are modern Japanese. So modern Japanese they started using question mark, but for literature wise we don't have question mark. So if you were to open a novel and you read those without photos, there will be no question mark. They will be like all the 句号 only, right? The way to ask question is using this ka particle. So when we put a ka particle at the end, it instantly changes the question into a question. So it becomes I am student, full stop. Then when we put a ka, it becomes I am student. That means you're doubting already, you're asking a question already, right? Are you student? Am I student? Okay, so Japanese ask question very easy, just put a ka behind. Okay, if we look at number 2, like part 3, the section 3, part number 2 bracket, so the bullet point number 2. Number 4 example, Mira-san wa America jin desu, right? He is American jin. Right, we put a ka, America Jin desu ka? So is he an American? Hai, America Jin desu. So hai means you agree with the sentence, right? I agree. Hai, America Jin desu. If you don't agree, iie, America Jin de wa arimasen. America Jin de wa arimasen. That means not American person. Okay? So number 5, Mira-san wa sensei desu ka? Hai, sensei desu. Iie, sensei ja arimasen. Right? Ja arimasen simply means not, right? Isn't or not. So far so good? Okay, moving on to number 3, questions with interrogative. So number 6, あの方はどなたですか? あの方はどなたですか? So in this case, we are inquiring, right? We are not asking a question. We're just like asking who is that person. So あの方, we will talk about あの in a while. This is why I don't like this textbook because they just throw in あの so randomly. Right, あの we'll learn in a while, but どなた is who, right? So who ですか? So who is it lah, basically. Right, who is it? So Mira です. Okay, for now, just take a pinch of salt. We will learn あの in a while. Okay, now we move on to the next page. We have our noun mo. Alright, noun mo. So this mo is used when we want to say something also. So in English, it's like we can say it is like a to or it's like a also. Right? So in Chinese, we say 也是 or 都. Right? It's like a similar. It means something is repeating itself. So number 7, Mira-san wa kaishain desu. Right? Mira-san is company employee. Then after that, Gupta-san mo kaishain desu. So Gupta-san mo, right? We are saying he also company employee. Right? So you can see the priority here is mo will replace the particle wa. Because it has higher priority order. It will, whatever information that we want to say it has repeated before, we use the particle mo to emphasize that this thing has been, it's a repeat. Right? So it has higher precedence over, higher priority over the other grammar particles like wa or whatever particle that you also learn in this course. You will have the highest priority. The also particle mo lah will take highest priority. Okay, number 5, N1 no N2. Okay, let's call it A no B. Okay, so A no B. I don't like to use the word N1 N2 lah, so I'll just change it to A and B. So A no B simply means B related to A. Right? So in Chinese we say something something. Right? A B. So simply means B is related to A. Right? Somewhat B has some relationship with A. Okay, for example, in this lesson 1, it can mean like Mira-san wa IMC no shain desu. So you can think of it in English as like the particle of. Right, for example, shain of IMC. So employee of IMC. Right, you can think of it as an of. Right? So for example, Singapore no Ben desu. Right? Ben from Singapore. The translation is not really from, but it's more like Ben of Singapore. I am related to Singapore, but what relationship do I have in Singapore is not clear. Right? It's like saying Ben, 新加坡的 Ben. How do you know that this person is born here? The information doesn't confirm this. How do you know whether this person is working, is living here? The information also doesn't suggest. It just suggests this Ben is somewhat related to Singapore. So same as Japanese. It just shows somewhat of an implicit relationship, but it doesn't explicitly say like what kind of relationship there is. Right? It doesn't really say like, oh, this person is born in Singapore, this person is living in Singapore, this person is PR or this person is EP of Singapore. Right? It doesn't say anything. It just say that this person got somewhat a relationship with Singapore. Right? 新加坡的 Ben. Very vague. Right? But we can still understand lah. It's like something of something. Right? So in this case, B of A. Understand? So for example, you look at this one. IMC no shine. IMC is company's name. So companies no shine. So company's employee. Or you can say employee of company. So in English, it's like an of. So always it is the B that is related to A, not the other way around, right? B related to A. Okay, number 6, we have this san. So san is just a polite way to refer to someone. In English, we have Mr., Mrs., right? Miss. But in Japanese, we don't have Mr., Mrs. Instead, they are all consolidated under one, which is called san. So for example, my surname is Kwek, so Kwek-san. Right? For example, the current president is Takaichi-san. Current prime minister, Takaichi. So Takaichi-san. Alright, it's just a formal way, a polite way to refer to someone. Instead of calling the person's name, hey Takaichi, hey, like macam the friend your friend like that. Right, macam the person your friend, so close. Right, so we don't really skip the san unless the person is very close to you, or unless you're very close to the person. Right, so we will still try to use san to maintain the relationship, formality of the relationship. Okay, so it's usually added to behind the family name. So how do we tell the family name of Japanese people? A bit difficult. It takes a lot of practice. I say not practice, it takes a lot of experience. So usually their name will be like Kitahara, Yamashita, Yamamoto, Noda, that kind of thing. Yeah, Ono, that kind of thing. So it takes a bit of practice. To now for us we are non-Japanese. So when we read their name, we were like, which one is the first name, which one is the last name? It's not very obvious. But however, if you think about it in the Chinese way, right? For example, my Chinese name is Guo Hongwei, right? We have Guo. Guo is a family name. So when they say it in Japanese, the front part is definitely going to be their Japanese surname. Right? So when they introduce themselves as, for example, now the current prime minister is Takaichi Sanae. So they will say like Takaichi Sanae desu. Right? So they will say their surname first, Takaichi, then Sanae. That will be their first name. Right? Please don't call it Sanae. No respect. Right? So Takaichi, when they introduce themselves in Japanese, the first few will be their surname. However, when you write it down in English, right? In English, right? For example, the character here, Mike Miller, right? Mike Miller. Miller is the surname, Mike is his name. So it will be the opposite way, right? Mike Miller. So when they say their name in English, it will be opposite. So their first name will come first, Sanae Takaichi. So it becomes the opposite way. Right? It's a very weird, it's just a Western word. For example, we say Li Xianlong, right? Li is the surname. But when we go to the Western world, it becomes Xianlong Li. Right? So that's how it works for Japanese as well. Right? So the first part will be their surname when they say in Japanese. But in English, the second part will then become their surname. Okay? So then you just refer that and then you just put a san, right? To refer to them. Okay? I will skip the example, I think it's very boring. Okay, so I have this dai ikka, very basic. Do you have this page? So I refer to this dai ikka. Right, so lesson 1, example sentence. So bunke means sentence structure. Right, bunke, sentence structure. So number 1, watashi wa Mike Miller desu. So Mike Miller, right? My name is Mike Miller, or rather I am Mike Miller. I am Mike Miller. I believe you have the translation somewhere in the textbook. Don't have Don't have that? Oh, then never mind lah. I think it's somewhere, but just never. It's okay not to find it.
So Mira is like the closest pronunciation in the
Yeah, Miller, Mira. Yeah. No choice So if you want to know what's a Japanese name, there's a lot of this kind of tools that are generated on the internet. You can try You can try and then you come back next week to me and then you let me know. Then I see whether it's correct or wrong. I can give you my opinion. Okay? Yeah, because even for Chinese name also, like just now I say Wei, right? But however they don't want to say, they don't want to be like where like where they don't want to adopt this. Instead my teacher say just say we instead. So it's very weird So the way they use it is very weird. So watashi wa Mike Miller desu. So I am Mike Miller. Number 2, Santo-san wa gakusei de wa arimasen. right? So the wa simply tells us the subject. So subject here will be Santo-san, right? Wa is the subject. So Santo-san, 学生じゃor ではありません. So ありません means not. So じゃis just a connector lah, no meaning. So じゃありません. So it's not. So Santo-san is not student. Then number 3 is to ask question. ミラさんは会社員ですか? 会社員ですか? So is he a student? So car is just a question mark. You can ignore the car and just replace it with a question mark if you like. Okay, number 4. サントさんも会社員です。So this も is basically our also particle. Like it's a repetition of information. Like this person also like that. Right? So サントさんも会社員です。It has the highest priority in replacing all the other grammar particle. Okay, then we talk about 例文. So 例文 it just simply means example sentences. Like 造句, 列句, right? Example sentences. Number 1. Mike Mira desu ka? So you realize they square bracketed the あなたは because in Japanese, I'm talking to you. If I use the word あなた, must be you already ma. If I'm talking to you, Mike Mira desu ka? If not, I'm asking myself whether I'm Mike Mira. Of course, I'm asking you lah. So if asking you, then あなた can be omitted, right? Because in the conversation, there's only one あなた, right? Which is you lah. I'm talking to you only. So in this case, we can ignore the あなたは or we can ignore the 私は. If the question is very simple and like the other party is able to imply that you're not talking about them, you're talking about you or him, right? Then we can ignore the 私は or あなたは. Right? Then we skip straight to the question. Mike Mira desu ka? Right? Mike Mira desu ka? Are you Mike Mira? はい、私は Mike Mira です。or はい、Mike Mira です。Mike Mira です。Number 2. ミラさんは学生ですか? So ミラさんは so this what tells us that our topic is ミラさん. Our subject in this sentence will be about him. So about ミラさん、学生ですか? So is he a student? いいえ、学生じゃありません. Number 3. ワンさんは銀行員ですか? Right? 銀行 is bank, right? 銀行員 is the employee. So 銀行員. So ワンさん is bank employee ですか? いいえ、銀行員じゃありません. So じゃありません simply means it's not. Right? 医者です. So is doctor. Right? Number 4. どなたですか? I'm gonna ignore あの方 first. We'll learn it in a while. どなたですか? So who is it? ワトさんです. Right? It is ワトさん. 桜大学の先生です. So 桜大学 is a fictitious university 啦. 大学 means university, right? So the important thing I want to emphasize is the no. So 桜大学の先生です. So 先生 related to 桜大学. 先生 that is related to 大学. So in Chinese we say 大学的教授. Right? So 教授 related to 大学. Right? So B related to A. B that's related to A. Number 5. グプタさんは会社員ですか? はい、会社員です. カリナさんも会社員ですか? So カリナ also company employee? いいえ、学生です. Okay, you can choose to reply いいえ、学生です. Or you can choose to reply いいえ、会社員ではありません. Right? You can say like, oh, no, student です. No, she is not employee. So choose one, whichever one. Okay, number 6. テレーザちゃんは So テレーザちゃん This ちゃん is only for like people I would say try to use it with if the age gap from you to the person is like about more than 10 years, then you can use Chan. But Chan is a very, very cute way to refer to someone or call someone lah. So unless you want to create a playful atmosphere with that person, I recommend you just stick to San. Alright, just stick to San. Don't use Chan. I mean, I do have colleagues that call me Benja. Right? Because no, think about it. Because I mean, I'm young in the company lah. I have like 40 years old, 50 years old supervisor reporting to them. To them, I look like that. I am like their son like that. So in a way, like they want to give me a more comfortable experience, so they call me Chan. Like a closer, there's a more 亲密, right? A more closer relationship. So it's okay to use Chan depending on whether a person is comfortable also, right? Or whether you're comfortable with this godson. This person is your godson, right? But anyways, we try to stick to son, right? So Teresa-chan wa nansai desu ka? So nansai, remember? Nansai means what age? 几岁, right? 几岁desu ka? 9歳です. So 9岁です. Right? We'll learn the numbers next week. How to count next week. So far so good. Okay. So let's talk about this conversation between these two persons. So the title says はじめまして. So はじめまして means, if you refer back to our just now the one, our salutations greeting, はじめまして simply refers to nice to meet you for the first time. Nice to meet you for the first time. Okay, so between these three persons, Sato-san, Yamada-san, and Mira-san, so three persons, so Sato-san says, おはようございます. Right, which means good morning. Yamada replies, おはようございます. Sato-san, こちらはマイクミイラです. So こちら we will learn it in lesson 2. So please ignore it for now. So Sato-san, こちらはマイクミイラです. Right, so this is Mike Mira です. Right, we'll learn this. We'll learn こちら soon. Don't worry about it. Mira says, はじめまして. So はじめまして. Oh, nice to see you for first time. Nice to meet you for first time. マイクミイラです. Right, Mike Mira です. Then next, アメリカから来ました. Okay, we will not learn kara for now. We will learn it later in lesson 6 or 7. Basically, it means like I came from America. Okay. Next, どうぞよろしく. どうぞよろしく. So どうぞ, remember, is please. よろしく means be nice to me. But this person needs to add お願いします behind it, because like that like a bit rude, a bit too casual. Right, if you refer back to our greetings, the よろしく, there's a bracket お願いします at the back. So please add that お願いします for more formality. Otherwise, you just end here どうぞよろしく. It's like you're higher level, you're higher status than the other person, which is not what we want to portray. Right, we want to be humble. So please add お願いします behind this. If you happen to use this, please add お願いします. Right, どうぞよろしくお願いします. Right, then the other person replying, 佐藤恵子です. Right, どうぞよろしくお願いします. Right, please add the polite お願いします behind. Right, it's more polite that way. Okay, so conversation. Maybe I would like to have 3 people to try to read these sentences. Any 3? No, I call name already. Any 3 person? Don't have. Okay lah. Elise, Zuyu, and Yaoxiang. Okay, so Elise can be Mira, Zuyu can be Sato, Yamada can be Yaoxiang. Okay, let's go. Sato.
おはようございます。
Okay, good.
おはようございます。
Mm-hmm.
佐藤さん、こちらはマイクミラさんです。
Okay.
はじめまして、マイクミラーです。アメリカから来ました。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
Very good.
佐藤海子です。どうぞよろしく
お願いします.
お願いします。
Okay, yeah, it takes a bit of practice, but I think it's all good. Just now there was one word I wanted to say. So I know I haven't talked the word kara, but kara we pronounce it as kara, not kara. There's no kara, right? Kara.
L
Right, it's an L sound like kara. Yeah. So こちら we will learn it soon, so don't worry about it. Other than that, I think the passage is good. Okay. Okay, so over here we have our 練習 A. So 練習 A is just for you to understand like sample sentences, more sample sentences for you to take a look at how they are formed, or what are the alternatives that we can change, like how can we substitute this word and change it to another word, right? So all these are, then this is 練習 A. Right, so this is for your self-review, self-study. Okay, then should be is where the homework, I want to try the homework. So then should be, in this case, we will go through then should be. So what you're supposed expected here is, for example, number 1, right? Day means example, means 例子, li. So the sentence here is 皆さんはアメリカ人です。So 皆さん is the person in this example. So 皆はアメリカ人. He is from America. So アメリカ人です。So when we put this 人 behind the country, it immediately becomes the nationality. Right? For example, Singaporean, we don't say Singaporean. Right? We say Singapore 人. So we just need to change our country name, which is Singapore, to Singapore 人. Right? So you just need to form this sentence, right? For example, 皆さん and America. So 皆さんはアメリカ人です. Okay. Then number 2, you can see the position of the person, right? He is a 会社員. He is a 会社員. So he is an employee. So you can say that 皆さんは会社員です. Right? In the second example. Right? He is a company employee. So we can see the other examples there. So please tell me their jobs. Then number 3, we have this example. So we only have 2 things, which is Mira and Ginkoin. So I need you to reject, right? Mira-san, not Ginkoin. So 皆さんは銀行員じゃありません. So please practice writing this. I will recommend you to write in both hiragana and romaji. Right? I want you to practice hiragana as soon as possible, but of course you can't read it in class, right? Because I ask you to read out your answer. If you cannot read the hiragana, then what's the point, right? So that's why I require you at the start, please write both. Write hiragana and romaji. Okay, you can answer in romaji first, then after that you can try to translate over to hiragana. So basically, I need you to get a sense of like what character is what word. So please write answer in both hiragana and romaji. Then number 4, 皆さん, right? Dot アメリカ人. Then 皆さんはアメリカ人ですか? So I need you to form a question with whatever information we have here. Alright, I don't need you to answer the question. I just need you to form a question. Okay, form the question only. 皆さんはアメリカ人ですか? Just form the questions only. Okay? Then should C, sorry, before that, on to the next page for then should B, we have even more examples. Okay, you can see number 5, they, あの方はどなたですか? Right, that person is who? So, Gupta san desu. Right, so for this one, I need you to reply the person's name, right? Gupta san desu, then her position, right? IMC no shine desu. That means the company and the position. So I need to reply in this format. Practice writing how to reply in this format. Right? I don't need you to ask the question now. The question is the same for everybody. The question is anokata. Anokata means that person. Right? That person wa? Who is it? So I just need to answer the question. Gupta san desu. Like you can see their name above, right? Above their head is their name. Then below their head is their affiliation, company and position. So I need to introduce their company and their position. So you can see there's no space. So maybe if you want, you can write it on an extra piece of paper. Okay, number 6. Mira-san, Kaishain, Gupta-san. So now we have 3 objects together. So I need you to form a sentence with these 3 objects. So we can say, Mike Mira-san wa kaishain desu. Then we use the mo particle to form a sentence. Right? So Gupta-san mo kaishain desu. So in this case, I need you to form the question. Right? I need you to form this question. Okay?
So using
the
these
3.
people.
Yes, using the 1, 2, 3. You see the question? The question here got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Right? So using this to form a question. Right? I don't need to form the answer. The answer is too easy. But I need you to form the question. Right? Please form the question. We will go through how to ask the question next week. Okay, please form the question. Okay. Moving on, yeah, you form the question. Then next week, the next person after you will be the one answering the question. So yeah, the answering the question very easy. Alright, we just need to refer to the table below. Okay, number 7. Oh my god. Okay, so in this case, we haven't learned about how to count age first. So we just leave out number 7 first. We haven't learned how to count. So we leave out number 7 first. Okay? Okay? By the way, you all have this page or not? Mondai. I doubt so.
No.
Yeah, I doubt so. Yeah, good have. Okay, so the homework will just be Len Shu B. Len Shu C is a conversation. So basically this is what we have mentioned in the conversation earlier on. So they are just saying like what are the possible substitution that you can do. For example, America you can substitute for Brazil. The person's name Mike Mira can replace as Santosa. So just replace the name only. So this is conversation, you don't need to do this. You can go through them, review them by yourself. Right? This is basically an extension of the conversation that we have practiced over here. Right? It's just an extension of the conversation that we have practiced here. They're just telling you what are the alternative things that we can substitute. Like Indonesia, Karina, right? The name Karina and the name Indonesia. You can just substitute accordingly.
Sorry, I think you have this.
Oh, you don't have this? Okay, then fine, don't need. Right, just go back, just refer to the conversation here. Right, understand the conversation again, like why did they say so, why did they use this phrasing? Right, understand what does each word means. This is a very standard salutation when you are meeting Japanese for the first time. Right, we will introduce our country, then we will say Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. It's a very default start. Okay, so for now our homework will just be Renshu B. We will go through Renshu B next week. Right, so the extra sheet of paper that you received, the one that lesson 1 and 2, right, this one you need to start first. This one just wait until we finish lesson 2. This one just hold off first. Alright?